Okay guys, hi and welcome to the stream and talk. I will tell ya what the F is wrong with Majorkill. So guys, hi to everybody in the chat. I'm gonna try to keep this as tight as humanly possible, although it is a stream, but it is also kind of like a long topic. We're going to check only the most important parts of Majorkill's video that are relevant. Okay, so this video was out about a month ago. I was supposed to do a video on it like right away when it came out because I'm actually one of those people that have more than 10 years of experience in the seriously training fitness world, also coaching people, also learning a ton, also sustaining a very good physique for 10 years. So I'm one of those people that have gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, just trial and error, diets, training, whatever, you name it. And I also learned a lot about performance enhancements through the years. Never had myself such because that is very unhealthy, especially for a girl. I mean, it could be unhealthy for a guy, but the point is, it is super mega dangerous. But I'm going to give a fair assessment of what Majorkill has to say in this video, and I'm going to let you know what is what, so to speak. But by the end of the stream and Majorkill's video, we're going to actually reach a conclusion that something is really major something is majorly wrong here, pun intended, and you'll see what that is. But yeah guys, firstly, I am training for more than 10 years. I have coached a lot of people. I have got even licensed as a trainer. And, you know, to sustain a physique is not an easy thing. So I'll give him that. It's not an easy thing. It's a lot harder for a woman, especially, than it is for a guy. Because guys have testosterone more than women, and they can make muscle a lot easier. Now, now, we're just going to play the video, where he's talking directly what he takes, and we're just going to go from here. He is obviously showing some workout footage, which is pretty cool, but that is besides the point. You can lift naturally a lot of weight, and you can lift unnaturally a lot of weight. And actually, his physique is nothing that you cannot do naturally. Actually, yeah, he is totally in the natural range in terms of muscle mass. So that is one thing to note. Now, him and this guy decided to not do it naturally, but we're going to get to all of this. Now, for some more credentials, you probably won't see much, but here are the guns. They're here, they exist, and yeah, those are the guns. Okay, I have of course a lot more, but I cannot show you this way sitting down. But you know very much, very well, if you watch me for years, that I do that, and some of you actually are shredded. Clayton, you know who you are because of my advice. So it is possible, but there are some guys truly that have lower testosterone levels, like he's gonna mention. Okay, so I'm gonna play the sound and we are going through this. Okay, so
155, we're calling it there.
Let me know if you start.
Squats are done, let's move on to deadlift. We have quite literally the most ghetto deadlift setup possible, but we'll a band, even though they don't boost performance, they simply heal you from fresh or chronic injuries. This is why when you see athletes get destroyed, like I'm talking life-changing injuries, then they vanish for a year and come back completely healed. What they do is
yeah, so he pretty much going to explain what is considered natural or not. Yeah, coffee is a drug, but it's not that kind of a drug that cannot be, that could be considered unnatural. Is a natural thing. So coffee is not bad, of course. It's common sense. We're not gonna blur the lines between what is natural, like considered natural, what is not. Like directly, guys, what is not natural is when you take all kinds of hormones, like the insulin, the testosterone, anything that's a hormone. If you take it outside, that's not natural, and you're automatically not natural. Some guys, I also saw that in the fitness industry, they do have low testosterone levels, and some of them do require testosterone therapy, but some of them only think that they do, and actually they don't, and they just use that for excuse to enhance their physiques, and then they stop, like Marian from YouTube. He's like, I'm gonna do that, and then, oh no, I regret it, I have to stop testosterone. But their body is altered to the rest of their life, because when you actually take whatever it is that counts for a hormone, you're altering your body forever in some kind of a way. You're making more nuclei, which are the muscle cells of the body. Thus, you will never be really natural ever again, even if you stop. So once you start, you are changing your body in a permanent manner, and that, to me, you can say, now I'm natural if you stop steroids, but you in fact will never be really natural, because once you step over that bridge, there's no going back in that kind of a way, because you are forever changed. So not a lot of people know that, they'll talk about that, but you literally going to produce more muscle cells if you take steroids. And when we are growing up, if you're trained, if you're a kid, and if you're training, when you're a kid growing up, you're going to create more nuclei in the future, which means you're going to make your potential to build muscle in the future even bigger, but that's going to be done in a natural and healthy way. So just have this in mind. I mean, a lot of people think that if kids are training, that's gonna like slow their growth or something, but that's not the case. It's quite the opposite. It does help for the future health, for stronger bones and all those things. So when we're talking about pure lifting weights naturally, you can do that, and it's gonna be prolonging your life, creating better immunity, making you younger, like legit younger, biologically younger. There's so many benefits. But if you I mean, I know it's very slow, the progress, but it's still permanent, a lot more permanent than if you take anything. Because if you take performance enhancements, then you have to stop for some reason. You're gonna lose all the gains that you made 99% of the time. You gotta still take something, at least testosterone replacement therapy, in order for you to keep some of that muscle that you made artificially, because the body cannot hold on to that without the additional help. If it's made in an artificial way, it's gonna go away in the same artificial way. Easy come, easy go. That's how it's going to be. But if you create muscle naturally for years and then you stop training, you're gonna lose muscle, you're gonna downsize, but you're never gonna fully lose it unless you're like a total potato. Because, for example, my father always was natural, he always trained and became very big when he was young, and now he's not training now, unfortunately, but he still has like the same muscle shape of his arms. Especially, he can still have like a very good bicep peak. It's just that it's downsized, it's not as big, but the shape is kept. And that cannot be seen if you're actually pumping yourself with all kinds of stuff. But whatever, let's continue.
Drop out of the testing, take the healing stuff to save their career, and then return, as it's either that or they have to retire. As a final example, injectable L-carnitine, which boosts performance, fat loss, and energy, is natural, despite the fact that you inject it. The point I'm trying to make is that the dad who is taking BPC to heal his knee so he can play with his kids is technically not natty. And if people ask him, he either has to lie about it or he says he isn't natty, then he gets roasted by people that don't really know much about it, being like, lol man, you are natural but you look like a normal guy. Fucking idiot. So because of this, a lot of people don't like talking about it. Performance enhancing drugs is a massive spectrum, with many of them actually being quite healthy for you, extending your health and lifespan and giving you a better quality of life. But if you take these and just lump them in with the juiced up gearheads, then you're just going to get ridiculed. With that out of the way, no, I am not natural. I have had quite the fitness journey, going from completely natural, taking despite the fact that you inject it. The point I'm trying to make is that the dad who is taking BPC to heal his knee so he can play with his kids is technically not natty.
Okay, we cannot compare just taking some peptides. I mean, peptides could be good. He is emphasizing the peptides a lot. We're gonna get to that. Peptides could heal, all of that. They're not steroids, they're peptides. Okay, great, but we don't know all the possible side effects. I would not consider a guy that is taking a peptide to heal his knee or whatever as unnatural. That's kind of dumb, because that's not a hormone. And the other thing that he is taking, we're gonna get to that as well, are SARMs. And SARMs are basically, they work in a different way. They're not steroids, but they're telling your body that it should produce more muscle. Let's just explain it the more simple way possible. They're not steroids, but they're acting as steroids. Sometimes they're even stronger than steroids. So the fact that they're not directly hormones doesn't mean that they're harmless, side effect free, or whatever. Sometimes they could be more dangerous, they can be more effective. It depends, and every person is different. For example, there was even one TV show before, I think it was like a UK TV show, that a mother lost her son who was 18. He just started taking steroids and he just died very quickly. So sometimes you can take something like that and you can, yeah, I mean, you can just die. Because different complications. Because actually, in his case, I think he unlocked some kind of a genetic disease, but you don't know what you're prone to. You don't know how this is gonna affect you. It could be like extremely, like so dangerous you can't even imagine. You can literally drop dead from taking steroids, even if they are controlled under a doctor's supervision, whatever. You can still fucking die. I'm sorry about the expression. And when my brother was very young, he actually started also taking steroids, so I saw that from first hand, unfortunately. Basically, he got aggressive, he got the roid rage, just like, some people say. Very aggressive, actually. He got his heart enlarged just in a span of, I think, 3 months, and he had to stop. He had heart palpitations. He was, having a lot of trouble just taking a breath. So, I mean, steroids were obviously not for him. And there are some people that are legends, basically taking steroids for years and years, and they can go on and on and on and still drop dead in like age of 47. That's also what happened. I just totally forgot this guy's name. Maybe Clayton, you can help me in the chat. But there was one very big guy that just dropped, Rich Piana, yeah, Rich Piana. He just dropped dead while his girlfriend was like cutting his hair. So he was taking everything under the sun to counter what he was taking as steroids, because usually bodybuilders and people who take such stuff, they always take another bunch of stuff to prevent the side effects from the steroids. But those things that they take to prevent the other things also have side effects sometimes. So it becomes this endless cycle of I have to take this and I have to take this, and Jesus Christ, there's so many like really natural athletes that you can watch on YouTube, and with time you can tell who is natural, who is not. In the case of Majorkill, even with my eye, like, my eye's been so trained to spot fake natties, can't even spot him because his physique is really, really ordinary for someone that just, tries to build muscle. It's great, don't get me wrong, it's great. Even now that he is enhanced, it's great, but you can totally do that without the steroids if you have normal testosterone levels. So emphasis on normal, because his levels were not. So that is something that kind of excuses at least the TRT therapy part. It does not excuse everything else that he wanted to take. That is his still body. I cannot judge him for that. I just say that he's a very young guy, so he basically was like, well, I have people to coach me on this, so I'm gonna make regular tests and everything's gonna be fine. A lot of people are in his place, being just young guys that thought that everything was going to be fine. They took regular tests of their blood, and the blood tests show that everything is awesome. But it does not show the organs enlargements and other complications, like the genetic issues that could be unlocked, and all those things. That it just doesn't show that. Some people still drop dead. Now he is taking small doses, which still could be dangerous in the long run. We don't know how this is gonna be in the long run. So there's one side of things. One side is his own health, and another is when he promotes to other people to go through certain protocols. Now, again, we're gonna get to that, so let's continue.
And if people ask him, he either has to lie about it or he says he isn't natty, then he gets roasted by people that don't really know much about it, being like, lol man, you are natural, but you look like a normal guy. Fucking idiot. So because of this, a lot of people don't like talking about it. Performance enhancing drugs is a massive spectrum, with many of them actually being quite healthy for you, extending your health and lifespan and giving you a better quality of life.
I never heard of extending your lifespan performance enhancement. It's like, what are you talking about? Even freaking, growth hormone is a double-edged sword. So, which are those that extend your health and lifespan? Maybe if you have like such a low testosterone, you only need TRT therapy, that's gonna prolong your life because it just supplements the rest of what levels you're supposed to be having as a man of testosterone. But in other cases, what other cases exist there? In my whole life of current life of experience and all that, I never heard any performance enhancements drugs that will prolong your life. I think that he needs to learn more about those things, because that's not a joke, you know.
But if you take these and just lump them in with the juiced up gearheads, then you're just going to get ridiculed. With that out of the way, no, I am not natural. I have had quite the fitness journey, going from completely natural, taking no supplements.
Okay, let's first say that he looks really sad on this picture. It's like we're supposed to be feeling bad for him for having a great physique. Like, he has objectively a very good physique even here. Yeah, he doesn't look as, you know, big and shaped and everything like he does now, but how many guys would just be happy with having like abs and perfectly good pecs, like normally, you know, toned arms? I mean, tone is not the correct term in the fitness world, but he has enough muscle, okay? So how many guys would be happy with that? Probably all guys.
Which I then had to change when my progress stopped. I was always exhausted and I found out my testosterone was only 280, below the reference range. At this point I was about 77 kilos, so I jumped on natural test boosters which were okay. My test went up to 450 and my progress started up again, and I no longer had to nap during the day. But 450 is still a bit meh, and I wasn't happy with my progress or physique.
Okay, so here is the key part, that he still was able to boost his testosterone in natural ways, which even to me is a bit, how did you do that? Because most of the test boosters on the fitness market are absolute bullcrap, and almost nothing works. Almost nothing. Even if it does, gonna be like what, 20%? Not even that. Not even that. So if he did it alongside the peptide somehow, I more can understand that, but otherwise it's very weird. But still, he could have just stopped here. Objectively, he just could have, but he just wanted more. So now we are getting into the ego that he has, and he just wants more. So he doesn't actually have to do it, because the only way that I would say, yeah, of course, you're totally excused, is when he really, really, really needs it for his health. But actually, no, because then at least he was perfectly fine and healthy, doing everything naturally. But now he is at risk, like right now, when he crossed the threshold. So he should have stopped here, in my opinion. That's just perfectly fine physique, just perfectly fine. I mean, from a man's standpoint, from a woman's standpoint, it's perfectly fine. So yeah.
I also got distracted a lot and my energy wasn't the best, which sucks when you're running multiple companies and working out every day. Another issue is that I needed to maintain 13% or above body fat to maintain these test levels, which meant I was never really happy with my body.
Okay, so yeah, so he explains that he feels like he is fat on 13% body fat. Now, for any man, like around 13%, guys, is very, like, I mean, it is exactly where you should be, but in the same time, if you go any lower, you will feel like crap. But still, you can see his abdominal muscles and pecs and everything. He's in perfect shape. So the only thing that made him progress from here is his ego, because he decided that's not enough. Now, I also would like to have abs all the time. I only have muscle definition, but like stomach definition, like Britney Spears, or a bit more, but those are not abs to me. If I actually want to see my abs, I have to fall down under 20%, because for women it's a lot more. So under 20% of body fat, that's gonna stop my period. I'm not gonna have a cycle. I'm not gonna feel like a woman or a man. I'm gonna feel like non-gender person. Like literally, I'm not gonna feel anything, okay? I've been there. I've been through a keto diet before, which also shut down my hormones. I've been to a fitness diet, which means I lowered my fat so much that the body still decided to say, she's not doing very good right now. She's not actually healthy. She's eating incorrectly. So I'm gonna shut down her hormones and stop her from having her period. That's how it works with women, unless you're some kind of a fitness. From one of those women with the body type where they're flat on all sides. They have the athletic physique, like a runner athletic physique, but they don't have hips. They don't have a waist. Everything is like SpongeBob. But those types of women usually can retain and make a lot of muscle easily, and maybe they will not be affected from such lower levels of fat on their body. So that's one thing, but I'm not one of those women. I'm one of those women that have the hourglass shape like Marilyn Monroe, and if I try to go down so like below 20, even below 21, I think I'm gonna be toasted, not gonna want to see a man ever. Like sex drive, what is that? That's how I'm gonna be, like completely dead inside. So I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Oh, Jesus. So that's why I'm sustaining, a physique that has enough of healthy body fat, so I can also have the definition, not see my abs fully, but have the definition, still retain my femininity, and to have as much as muscle as possible, literally as possible. And that is it, being functioning and healthy at the same time, have my cake and eat it too, so to speak. So yeah. Let's see.
I was at about 82 kilos at this point. I spoke to my endocrinologist who offered me TRT, but I refused as I wanted to seek alternatives first. This is when I started doing more research and met Joe, my best mate who was in a similar boat to me. We researched a ton into steroid and TRT alternatives and discovered various peptides and medications that could be used in tandem to greatly boost testosterone, growth hormone, and massively improve quality of life. So we jumped on those, which technically was the end of our natural journeys, despite the fact that we had not used any form of steroid. We used the peptides CJC and ipamorelin to boost our growth hormone, and then the drug enclomiphene to turbocharge our natural production of testosterone. We felt great, and for the first time I was actually happy with my physique. I got to about 84 kilos, but I was leaner than I usually was. I started getting compliments, found it easy to stay lean without crashing my test levels, and things were great.
Yeah, that is it, isn't it? I mean, it's easier when you take stuff to stay lean. Of course it is. But if you can just learn how to fast, and yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. You can do it. It just requires a bit more willpower. It's normal. It's a part of the fitness journey. I mean, like for a girl, it's so much harder because we have, especially around that womanly time, like such a hunger. It's just compels you, not compels, just makes you eat. It's totally different. Now, with me, I managed to make my body in such a way through the years that it literally disappears what I eat during that time because my hormones are elevated. They just make the food disappear, literally. That wasn't how I was before. No. Absolutely not. When I was growing up, I gained fat very easily. It's totally different person. My metabolism was slow as crap. And it's like now I'm a teenager, but that happened through a lot of training, just building the muscle mass, which is an active tissue. And whatever I take in food and I train, it just tries to put it in the muscle for energy to build it and not just stick it to me like a pancake. So there's that. But yeah, you gotta train more. He has a lot less of an experience than I do in training in terms of years. So there's that. Maybe a bit more suffering, like in the beginning, but then you get to reap the benefits.
I would honestly recommend this protocol to anyone as it's more or less side effect free. Here's the thing though, doing a bunch of medications long term to try simulate TRT is actually less healthy than just straight up doing TRT. So I finally, after years of holding out, bit the bullet and got doctor prescribed TRT alongside HCG to maintain.
And that's also less healthy than just go straight up with TRT. I don't think so. Like what? How to compare that? You really have to go to a doctor and be like, hey, let's measure all of your possible metrics and see which is healthier. Just to take ashwagandha and there was one thing that boosted testosterone. Well, okay, let's take the natural stuff and see if that's, I mean, how is that? That's just healthy, and the other one freaking is risky. Jesus.
Health and fertility. I also decided to go on a fat bulk and swap out my.
Oh wait, he said something here. Wait.
Greatly boost testosterone, growth hormone, and massively improve quality of life. So we jumped on those, which technically was the end of our natural. 450 and my progress started up again, and I no longer had to nap during the day. But 450 is still a bit meh, and I wasn't happy with my progress or physique. I also got distracted a lot and my energy wasn't the best, which sucks when you're running multiple companies and working out every day. Another issue is that I needed to maintain 13% or above body fat to maintain these test levels, which meant I was never really happy with my body. I was at about 82 kilos at this point. I spoke to my endocrinologist who offered me TRT, but I refused as I wanted to seek alternatives first. This is when I started doing more research and met Joe, my best mate who was in a similar boat to me. We researched a ton into steroid and TRT alternatives and discovered various peptides and medications that could be used in tandem to greatly boost testosterone, growth hormone, and massively improve quality of life. So we jumped on those, which technically was the end of our natural journeys, despite the fact that we had not used any form of steroid. We used the peptides CJC and ipamorelin to boost our growth hormone, and then the drug enclomiphene to turbocharge our natural production of testosterone. We felt great, and for the first time I was actually happy with my physique. I got to about 84 kilos, but I was leaner than I usually was. I started getting compliments, found it.
Those are expensive, by the way, I checked. And some of them are even good for like fertility in women and all of that. But okay, that's kind of irrelevant. They're not like the perfectly safe things ever.
Easy to stay lean without crashing my test levels, and things were great. I would honestly recommend this protocol to anyone as it's more or less side effect free. Here's the thing though, doing a bunch of
I wouldn't recommend anything that has chemicals in it to anyone just because he thinks that for him is less of a side effect. I mean, like I said, anything can go sideways, so just have that in mind. Okay, Mati, I get you, okay? Just cook me beefsteak, like beef, something like that.
medications long-term to try simulate TRT is actually less healthy than just straight up doing TRT. So I finally, after years of holding out, bit the bullet and got doctor prescribed TRT alongside HCG to maintain ball health and fertility. I also decided to go on a fat bulk and swap out my lean and mean GH peptides with MK677.
Okay, so MK677 is a SARM, so that's the SARM that he took, like I've told you. Here in Bulgaria, I checked, it costs like 170 something leva, which is roughly about $85. Maybe for him it's not anything, but yeah, it's not safe. I can tell you that's not safe.
Which is a much more aggressive GH peptide. And yep, I got fucking fat and I retained a ton of water, which
freaking SARM, like tell it like it is, it's a SARM. It's SARMs.
you probably would have seen in my videos a few months ago. I went from 84 kilos to 96 kilos in the span of 3 months, and boy was it shit. But when I ditched MK677, got back on my awesome peptides like CJC, ipamorelin, and tirzepatide, which is like a better, healthier version of Ozempic, and started
Jesus, I never heard of a healthy version of Ozempic. I mean, Ozempic helps people with diabetes. And if you don't have diabetes, and maybe you heard this, but there's a trend in Hollywood, and a lot of Hollywood actors and actresses lost a ton of weight and they look like Skeletor. So Ozempic could be very dangerous, actually can lead to death in healthy people. I'm not sure how it is with diabetics, but if you have diabetes, it's gonna help for sure to some extent, but for healthy people, could be extremely freaking dangerous. I don't know what the heck does it mean. A healthier version of something that is already so dangerous. People actually, there's really a girl that I saw that like kind of like got into this psychotic state, like she's no longer there or something. She's trying to recover. This all those kinds of crazy stuff that can happen to you. Obviously he takes it very good, but I'm just saying this is not something to keep like a sign over your head to be like, it's great, you know? Maybe it's great for him and great if he has genetics to take it, but that doesn't mean that everyone else can take that. Just saying.
eating better, I got fucking shredded, going down to 88 kilos and for the first time in my life, actually feeling like a beast, getting compliments on the daily, suddenly getting a ton of interest from women who used to be...
Okay, I don't get that part. I mean, any woman that has some kind of a aesthetic view of things would like him now and would like him before that. Most women can't even tell the freaking difference, okay? I can, but most women just gonna see him the same. Like, do you have muscle? You have muscle, right? Okay, I can see your pecs anyway, in both states. I can see your abs in both states. Yeah, the last form, there's more like, more like a Super Saiyan. It's better. But it's not like such a dramatic, difference for more girls to be like, ooh, I'm just, now he has 2 centimeters more protruding muscle. Now I'm gonna go and stick my body next to his body. No, that sounds kind of dumb. I mean, he's doing that particular part of the video, if you ask me, because he's gonna promote his new company and the protocol of the peptides, which, yeah, we're getting into. So yeah, that is why this is already the seamlessly integrated commercial part.
Way out of my league, and my energy and mood was great. I was a much more calm, collected, and confident guy. Currently, I have...
Does it mean out of his league? He's already the most attractive, Warhammer YouTuber. I cannot think of anyone else that's more attractive than him. Like, objectively speaking, we don't see some of those guys, we have no idea how Luton looks like, but that is why, the ones that we can see for sure, he's the most attractive. So what does it mean she's out of my league? He's perfect. She looks perfectly fine. Jesus.
added in a few other steroid compounds in low doses. I'm talking 200 milligrams or less, mostly of DHT derivatives, under the supervision of a world-class coach. And
again, he added more steroids, and under the supervision or not does not mean it's safe. Never means it's safe.
It's going great. My blood work looks better now than it did when I was natural. I have next to no side effects beyond the occasion.
Again, which blood work is never ever 100% proof that he's gonna be fine, or he is fine right now. He really has to check if his heart is the same size as before, because that's one of the biggest concerns.
Occasional pimple on my back, and my hair has never been thicker. No, I will not tell you what I'm actually taking or the doses because I don't want anyone to copy it. One big issue with steroids is everyone responds very differently at different doses. Life is good, and while the steroids have been dope, I honestly attribute most of my physique to peptides. This is me on steroids without peptides. This is me on steroids with peptides. Peptides are literally the closest thing we currently have to biohacking modifications. If you wanted to be a custodian or space marine, peptides.
I'm still not sure about that, I mean, once again, those things are not tested for years and years and years. There's one supplement that we tested for years and years, that is creatine. We know that creatine is safe. So, but creatine is natural. We just take it as a pill instead of eating 500 tons of steak. So if you want to get your creatine through food, you gotta eat so much meat it's not gonna be healthy anymore. So you just take a pill. That's totally different. Peptides are a lot more potent, and we don't know everything about them yet. So, yeah, now, I mean, there's even growth factors for the face, and that's a cosmetic thing that is supposed to make your collagen, your cells just renew and just create better skin and all those things. But even they cause cancer. There's some proof that they could potentially, it's not for sure, but again, it's risky. That's the point. Can cause cancer. That's just cosmetic thing, but they're potent. So when something is potent, you can't be just like just stick freaking peptides into your eyes. It's gonna be great. You don't actually know that it's gonna be so great,
So why am I telling you all this? Well, I'm happy to announce that me and Joe, who knows pretty much everything I do, are launching our own live coaching company called Natty Plus, where we will literally coach you on the use of diet, exercise, and peptides to rapidly change your life. Whether you want to heal from an injury that won't go away, lose stubborn weight, improve your mental and physical health, or just look and feel young, we can help you. We also have a very basic Anabolics 101.
Okay, so all of this was just to promote his new company, of course. So that's the major issue that I was talking about at the beginning. That's the major thing. All of this was to just say, hey, I'm coaching. He already did this like 5 minutes ago, and now he's already coaching it. A bit of a red flag. Maybe just go through this a few years to see how it is. Maybe just like some of your friends that are willing to try it without making them try it. Maybe do some studies, I don't know, before you try to make money of it. Okay, anyway, and he is actually coaching a steroid quick steroid courses, he said as well. there was something else actually that I wanted to say, but I forgot. Let's just go
Why am
back
I
a bit.
telling you all this? Well, I'm happy to announce that me and Joe, who knows pretty much everything I do, are launching our own live coaching company called Natty Plus, where we will literally coach you on the use of diet, exercise, and peptides to rapidly change your life. Whether you want to heal from an injury that won't go away, lose stubborn weight, improve your mental and physical health, or just look and feel young,
Yeah, that is what I wanted to say, that you can look and feel young naturally. For most people that have no hormone issues, that's exactly what's going to happen. You will look and feel young, and you will actually improve your hormones anyway. Maybe it's not going to be dramatic to get you out of a state of not having testosterone as a man to speak of. Maybe not that dramatic, but you will get a lot of improvements of how you feel and a bit of a boost of your testosterone anyway. So you can do this naturally, that's the point.
we can help you. We also have a very basic Anabolics 101 for those of you that are getting on TRT and want to do it properly. However, I will definitely not coach anyone on how to bodybuild. I find that shit extremely unhealthy.
Okay, let's now talk about the difference, because many people are confused when he says something like this. It's just very out there without any explanation. So he means that he will not coach anyone on professional bodybuilding. Well, first, he's not a professional bodybuilder. Of course, he shouldn't. Second, professional bodybuilding is requiring a lot more of compounds to take, of course. And yes, it is extremely unhealthy. That is correct. But then again, he implies that what he is doing is healthy, which it is extremely questionable if it's cannot be universally healthy for sure, because every body is different, every person is different. But when people say bodybuilding, they mean professional bodybuilding. But when you train to build muscle and to better your physique, you're literally building your physique, you're building your body. So if you don't take anything that is not natural, you'll be bodybuilding literally. It's just that it's not in a professional way, which means that you don't take crap. So just to make this distinction.
This isn't some bullshit course. I'll be messaging you every step of the way, and we have live video call check-ins once a month to review progress, go over blood work, and so on. We've tried to make it as cheap as possible. For context, our coaching program only costs a quarter of what I pay for my steroid.
Well, once a month of any course, if I have to coach you, we have to write every week at least, and once a week we have to have a call. If we write all the times, not even gonna be an issue, but once a month, especially for such a thing, it's very little. It's just not enough. So that's another topic, but yes.
Coaching, and ours arguably has more info. On top of this, we've made a private community that anyone can join now for free. Usually it's paid, but if you use the link below, you get 3 months access for free, which will give you access to gym form videos, peptide discussions, people's experiences and testimonials, and so on, including a ton of knowledge on how to use peptides, source them, and
Which, talking to other people that are also going through the same as you, maybe it's beneficial to some point, but we all need, I mean, if you're getting into something, you need like directly what to do for myself, like how can I customize my own, this program, how can you as a coach, can you customize this for me, particularly for my needs, for my body and all that. This cannot be compensated just with the group, like riding with other people.
so on. Peptides fucking work. My cousin suffered permanent damage to his hand. After only 2 weeks of me coaching him on the healing peptides, he's gotten full use of his hand back. A mate of mine fucked his finger and the doctor said they need to get it fused together. 2 weeks on healing peptides and they said it was a medical miracle. Another mate had an inverted chest that needed surgery to flip. Big surgery. He was in agony, constantly high on opioids and hated his life. A few weeks on peptides and the pain is nearly all gone. This shit is golden. The only issue is the barrier to entry. That being how to use the peptides, where to get them from, the protocols and whatnot. Hence why I believe the coaching is so valuable. If you want to be a custodian or space marine, you need peptides. So in some awesome news, I'm proud to announce my partnership with Bionexus.
Sorry guys, the mic was muted. The rest of it's gonna be this thing, the advertising for the course. So yeah, the major issue is that he's basically like saying, hey, you can get on those things, it's fine, we're on a coach, it's gonna be fine. But most people on YouTube that are coaching anything, they always say like, we're not doctors, or consult your doctor and all those things. You have to say this disclaimer. He doesn't even say that, but we're dealing with, he's showing us stuff that could potentially be harmful, especially if you know that people are very impressionable. Most people don't know the first thing about training, let alone steroids, let alone jumping on peptides. They don't know what peptides are. So he's talking to a very impressionable audience, and sometimes that's gonna be like some other people said on YouTube, like nerds that just want to get into shape, and they're very susceptible to whatever if they really, really are desperate to, get into a better shape. Or he's talking to just young guys that just want to get into shape, but they don't want to really put in the work that much. I mean, they just want more results for the work they're gonna be putting in, and that's only possible if you go through not the natural route. But every objective person that ever actually took steroids and cares about people would advise you that you should first train up to your natural potential, and then when you reach your natural potential, you learn about the food, you learn about what your body can do naturally, how to lose fat, build muscle, all of that. When you learn that, when it takes, which is gonna take at least 3, 4, maybe 5 years, it depends, then you can think about jumping on something if you really want to grow more, if you really think that that is healthy for you. I mean, it's not gonna be healthy, but if you think that you're gonna like enter a bodybuilding competition or whatever, otherwise there's just no point to do this to yourself, because you're gonna become dependent on those things. And if you take testosterone, which most people are doing, and then you stop it because you're like, now I'm natural, you're probably not gonna be even able to stop it, because when you take testosterone or some of the other performance enhancements, you can crush your testosterone completely. You can make your testicles small like this. The body's gonna be shutting down the natural testosterone production, and nothing could be done anymore. That is it. You will have to keep on taking the testosterone. It's horrible. So you don't want to screw yourself this way. You just don't want to. And there's some after the steroids therapy that people do to return back their testosterone, but sometimes that doesn't work, and you still have to be reliant on artificial testosterone until you die. So who the heck wants that? Like, why just not lift and that's it? So now I'm gonna look at your comments, guys. So that's the time for the comments. Let me see what you're writing. So this is an insult to Skeletor. Sorry, Cecil. Sorry. If you, I'll get you next time, He-Man. And Matt says, this is what pisses me off. Have diabetes and I can't get it because rich fucks have run the prices up. I've tried it 1 month and it did wonders. Yes, yeah, I know, Matty, that for you is totally different. You actually need it. The framing here is deceptive. There are ways to improve your test without steroids. Using anabolic steroids is how you screw your hormones for life. Yeah, whatever I said. If you take steroids, your muscles do indeed grow. All of them do, including your heart, which is whatever I said. Thank you. Which is why so many guys on gear die on heart-related problems by like 40, yes, or even 18. I mean, like I said in the beginning, depending on where you got those, depending on where you are in the stream. I also gave examples where even guys like an 18 years old that just dropped that. Turkey is cheap. Oh, Jesus, a lot of things in Turkey, like plastic surgery, all of those things, guys. Just hold on for a damn second. There's something I gotta do for 1 freaking second. Okay, it's done. So, another side effect, taking this can actually have the opposite effect because excess testosterone gets converted into estrogen. Yes, and some of the things that he mentioned is one particular thing that he mentioned. I checked this compound, and it's actually exactly the one that you should take if you're on gear to prevent getting gynecomastia. And that is when some of the testosterone turns into estrogen, and makes your nipples grow like they look literally like they're gonna pop off your shirt. They're gonna tear it apart. They're just so pointy. It looks horrible. It looks like you're a cow or something like that. So you don't want this, for sure. So that is why he has to take the other things. Like I've said, when you start taking one thing, you have to take something else to prevent from the side effects of the other thing, and then you have to be thinking of the previous Jesus, there's just so many things. Okay, Mr. Mewtwo, bye. Thank you for being here. Okay, can I say that anastrozole? It's used when treating breast cancer and blocks ester production. Yes. And yeah, kids, yeah. So he did that like a month ago by this point. I put the links down below if you want to watch the full thing and his training and all of that. I wanted to make a video about it, but you know, life got in the way, so that's why it is now, because other people actually saw it. But the point is, guys, that like for sure you should just there's so many information on YouTube. There's some channels that are really good for building muscle naturally. You don't need anything artificial. My idea always is to improve. Like, to me, anyone, absolutely anyone and everyone should train. Men, women, kids should train. They always have to have this physical discipline, the willpower that has to be built in from childhood. So you don't need to like overcome such a hurdle of training, to see it as a chore, to like 500 to find 500 excuses to just not do anything and all of that. Now I'm gonna show you my gym real quick, like my home gym, just for context. Sorry.
G'day, guys and gals.
Sorry, that's from. So I'm just switching like video sources. So that video, I'm gonna switch to there. That is where I upload. I mean, that is from the life coaching content that I'm doing at OnlyFans. Because at OnlyFans, as you many of you know, I'm only doing non-SLANEESHY educational good content, normal, not explicit, not anything like that. Just coaching about life, fitness, relationships, all of that, everything that has to do with life coaching, I'm coaching it there. So that is where I posted this video to update people on the gym. So that is what this is. Okay, hold on. My weights there, my dumbbells here, so it's all good. It's very just you know, go and with both rings when they fall, and I usually pull it, everything, you know, more softer. Close bar, it's more than, and then I destroy some, you know, smaller stuff, a lot of, which is my fitness in my living room. In my living room, it's my studio as well. And
G'day, guys and gals.
Okay, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain now. So yeah, I just have the most necessary things. I can bench press, deadlift with that. I have a rolling machine. I can roll because that engages both the lower part of the body and the upper part. The treadmill that you saw, I broke it basically from walking before I had doggies. So I had to change the belt once. Then the engine blew up basically, and I had to throw that out. So I no longer need a treadmill because I have my doggies. I made always 10 and more thousand steps a day, every single day, without you know, any excuses. I have all the dumbbells that are like 7.5, 10 kg, you know, kilograms. Obviously we are doing kilograms only in Bulgaria. 14.5 kgs are the biggest ones. I have those bands, resistant bands, that are like in the doorway. In the doorway I have the pull-up bar, I have the rope that I can just take down from the door, and obviously the bench press. And yeah, I can do a lot. I can just go around and do all kinds of exercises. I can squat, everything. I can do everything. So I don't need anything else. I even have the gymnastic rings, which are always like on the doorway, and on the pull-up bar. Just, you know, bring them down. They're ready. They're set where they're supposed to be, on the height that they're supposed to be. So I can do dips on them, and like pull-ups from the floor and other stuff. So it is super versatile, and I can do everything but that. So, and this is only in such a small part of the living room. It's just like 2 meters by 1.5. So in just, you know, such a small place, if you even have that to spare, you can actually do a lot, and you can place a lot of equipment there and still have the space to lift it. So here you go, I'm giving you an idea for a home gym that is compact, but you can hit all the muscle groups, everything. Yeah, home gym. Well, like I've said, it's very small. So if you can just find like 2 meters by 1.5 meters, you can put all of those things. I mean, mostly that you need is like the yeah, the bench press rack. Yeah, the rack, because from it you can just make it in such a way that you can pull, I mean, you can put one bar of weights up, so it's ready to squat, another one like the closed bar, which is ready to just like do shoulder presses, and the other one that is straight as well, and it's ready also to just lay down on the bench and just do regular chest. Yeah, it's late, guys. You know what I mean. You can do everything. I set everything just such an easy way, so I can just go there and just train, and not having to take this bar and put it there, take this bar and put it anywhere. Just all the bars. That's why I have so many bars, because they're already in their place, and I just go and lift them, and that's it. Really practical, super practical. So that is basically it, guys, about Majorkill. I gave him a fair assessment. I really don't think that he has to be, I mean, he has to promote such a things where it could get unhealthy for someone, such protocols. Because you can do so many things without the freaking peptides. Like, that to me is still extreme thing. You can just go and learn everything that you can for natural training and natural supplements, and that's it. That's it. And if you need me, I can always help you, but it's only at OnlyFans, because that is where I can talk to each and every one of you personally. And that's it, guys. Okay, I love you. Until next time with me, the 40K Empress, and see you very soon. Bye bye.